3 lessons Borderlands 4 should learn from Borderlands 3. What's up guys, CJOC here, your favorite Borderlands YouTuber, back with another Borderlands video. But today we're going to be talking about the lessons that Borderlands 4 should learn from Borderlands 3. And that's right, we're talking about Borderlands 3, which is a great Borderlands game. Not those other games like Tiny Tina's Wonderlands or New Tales from the Borderlands, because we all know how we feel about those. But without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so the first thing that Borderlands 4 should learn from Borderlands 3 is matchmaking. Oh my god, matchmaking in Borderlands 3 is horrendous. If you do try to matchmake in Borderlands 3, let's just say it feels impossible to find proper matches for most of the endgame activities. You know, like raid bosses, takedowns, etc. And honestly, it takes way too long to even attempt to get into one. So that's also another sucky thing about the matchmaking system. But that's what's good about the solo play of Borderlands 3. Practically the whole game can be done solo, and it's not that hard, let's be honest. But it would be a lot more fun to play with friends and or meet new people of the Borderlands community with a good matchmaking system. And honestly, the whole matchmaking system feels outdated. So Gearbox, I love you, but we need to update the matchmaking system for Borderlands 4. Alrighty, the next lesson that Borderlands 4 should learn from Borderlands 3 is DLC Vault Hunters. Yes, I don't care if not enough people use them in the past games. I don't care. They are great. It adds a lot more gameplay. It gives you a reason to play through the story again, and it just makes creating builds that much more fun. Because let's be honest, Endgame is a whole lot of fun, especially when you have new things to try. And I don't see the reason that they really gave up on doing these. Yeah, it was cool to get an extra skill tree for our Vault Hunters in Borderlands 3. Don't get me wrong, I thought that was nice. But let's be real, most of those trees were mid as hell. And if you gave us like 2 to 3 DLC Vault Hunters, that's what? 3 extra skill trees each? That is way more gameplay and a lot more time for Borderlands fans to sink their teeth into. And like I said, even though they said not enough people used them in the past games with Borderlands 2 and such, there hasn't really been any trade-offs. So it's like, what's the point of not doing it? Especially when we look at the characters of Krieg and Gage, both are very fun to play as, and they only made the endgame of Borderlands 2 that much more fun. Heck, why do you think whenever a new Borderlands game comes out and people leave it, they always go back to Borderlands 2? I wonder why. Because it has a lot of content, and there is a lot overall to do. Please implement DLC Vault Hunters in Borderlands 4. And lastly, simply raising the level cap a tiny bit every few months and opening up some skill points is definitely not enough. Gameplay really with Borderlands 3 as it evolved never meaningfully changed. So that's how I feel, and again, for the love of God, Gearbox, add DLC Vault Hunters in Borderlands 4. Alright, for our final lesson that Borderlands 4 should learn from Borderlands 3 is a pretty good one. It's not a bad one at all. And that would be more endgame content of what we got. Borderlands 3 should have been supported a lot longer than what it was. Instead, we got Tiny Tina's Wonderlands with the worst endgame content experience in the Borderlands franchise. Not to say Chaos Chambers is bad, but doing the same thing over and over and over again is not that fun. Especially when that game is supported less than a year. That's right, you heard me. Less than a year, we got nothing else except little updates, but I'm not going to count all that rubbish. So, alrighty everybody, in the final lesson Borderlands 4 should learn from Borderlands 3, this one's kind of a good one, it's not really bad. And that is more of what we got with Endgame. Borderlands 3 Endgame is great. The raid bosses, the takedowns, but my problem is 1, Borderlands 3 was not supported nearly as long as it should have been, and 2, it needed more of that content. Heck, if they would have given us like, I don't know, 2 to 3 more takedowns or 2 to 3 more raid bosses, heck, both of those, I think Borderlands 3 would be even bigger and better than Borderlands 2. Don't get me wrong, I love both games, but let's be honest, Borderlands 3 had a lot more potential, and the fact that they stopped supporting it after 3 years is very disappointing, especially with what we got after. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Yes, it's a good base game, but let's be honest, They stopped supporting it less than a year. After the Chaos Chamber came out, we all know what happened. They gave us mirrors, and they kept doing the Chaos Chamber over and over and over again. It's not that fun to do the same thing over and over again. I don't care if it's a different room. If I'm doing the same exact thing and it's in a different environment, it's not that exciting. So, for the love of God, Gearbox, we need more takedowns. We need more raid bosses. Heck, throw the Chaos Chamber in there. But don't make it the only piece of endgame content that we get. But that's my thoughts on the lessons Borderlands 4 should learn from Borderlands 3. If you have any of your own, please comment them down below and let us discuss. If you did enjoy this Borderlands video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more great Take Borderlands content just like this. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you all back here for another Borderlands video next week. Until then, Vault Hunters, peace out.